So, what is a trauma bond? Well, a trauma bond is a deep emotional attachment that is formed between a person and an abuser, and it's due to cycles of abuse, manipulation, and intermittent reinforcement. And it happens when the victim experiences periods of intense highs. That could be love bombing, apologies, temporary affection, but it's followed by intense lows, neglect, cruelty, confusion, emotional withdrawal. And this cycle actually creates a powerful psychological addiction where the victim becomes emotionally dependent upon the abuser, often mistaking that addiction in that toxic relationship for love or loyalty. And trauma bonds are common in narcissistic and abusive relationships, making it incredibly difficult for the victim to leave, even when they recognize the harm. And at its core, a trauma bond actually tricks your mind into craving the very person who's hurting you and is keeping you stuck in that unhealthy dynamic. So if you find yourself ignoring red flags, finding the best in the person, justifying behavior because of small amounts of affection or kindness, you, my friend, might be in a trauma bond. If you're in a relationship with someone who lies, manipulates, and undermines you, yet you cling to the fact that maybe they take you to your favorite restaurant, compliment you once in a while, or occasionally make you feel special, without integrating the reality of their consistent mistreatment, you could be trapped in a trauma bond. A sweet gesture doesn't erase consistent manipulation. A fleeting moment of kindness doesn't override gaslighting. The good doesn't cancel out the bad. It keeps you hooked. And trauma bonds thrive on intermittent reinforcement, where brief moments of warmth make you override the reality of the persistent toxicity. And this creates what is called cognitive dissonance, making it much harder to leave because your brain is wired to focus on the rare positives instead of the overwhelming negatives. And as Christians, this can get tricky. I hate to use that word. It's not tricky, but as Christians, we are called to love unconditionally, forgive endlessly, and extend grace upon grace. But when does that cross the line into enabling toxic behavior? You see, many believers mistake a trauma bond for Christ-like love because they've been taught to be patient, sacrificial, long-suffering, and they assume that enduring manipulation, emotional abuse, and betrayal is all part of just carrying the cross. But Jesus never called us to be doormats for dysfunction. A trauma bond keeps you hooked on the highs and the lows, convincing you that suffering is a proof of love. But true Christ-like love is not built on fear, control, or inconsistency. It is built on mutual respect, truth, and righteousness. And if this love consistently leaves you feeling confused, drained, or devalued, my friend, it's not Christ-like. It's a counterfeit love designed to keep you trapped. Christ came to set the captives free. He didn't bind them to toxicity. So the question isn't, am I loving enough? But the question is this love leading to true truth and freedom? And this trauma bond isn't just limited to romantic relationships. It can exist with a parent, a friend, a sibling, even your own adult child. And any relationship that thrives on manipulation, guilt, and emotional chaos, where love feels like a constant cycle of highs and crushing lows, isn't built on Christ-like love. It's built on control. And when the connection is fueled by a fear of abandonment, obligation, or the hopes that things will finally change, my friend, this is not love. It's bondage. And the last time I checked, God did not call us to live in chains. So what I'd like to do today is I want to talk about the 3 signs that God is getting ready to break this trauma bond. You see, breaking free from a trauma bond isn't just about leaving the toxic relationship. It's about God opening your eyes, strengthening your spirit, and calling you into true freedom. It is a process of spiritual clarity, emotional healing, and identity restoration. And if you have felt trapped in a cycle of manipulation, confusion, and emotional highs and lows, but things are beginning to shift, you may be experiencing God's hand breaking this trauma bond in your life.